and welcome to SVG-TV's news for Friday, August 29, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. As students across St. Vincent and the Grenadines prepare to return to school on Monday, September 1st, 2025, following the summer break, the president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, the SVG-TU, Oswald Robinson, is encouraging all students to approach the new academic year with respect and responsibility. Robinson is calling on students to be respectful to their teachers and classmates, to take care of school property, arrive on time for classes, and consistently complete their homework. Robertson also took the opportunity to commend teachers who have been placed in acting administrative positions. However, he praised concerns regarding delays or changes in the appointments, referencing Article 28.2 of the collective agreement between the union and the government. Robinson stated that according to the Article 28.2, anyone acting in a post for 14 days should be officially appointed. He said, unfortunately, this continues to be a long-standing issue that they have raised multiple times.
And I hope that the authorities will do the honorable thing. We are concerned that for many years, and we are hoping that it won't happen again, that you put persons in administrative control. They have conducted professional development week. They have done all the preparations for school, having orientation for new students, assigning teachers to the respective classes, and all the necessary preparations for school. And lo and behold, when school reopens in the month of September, you bring somebody from somewhere else and make them acting principal. And you expect that person who was performing administrative control to still have the same morale and to work in harmony with that person you have brought from outside. You have to use more wisdom, better wisdom, be more tactful in when you are putting persons in leadership position in school. It should not be because a politician called you or saying to the service commission, I want X, Y, and Z to be the principal in my constituency. Leave the public service commission alone to do their work. They have the autonomy under the Constitution of St. Vincent and Grenadines. Please leave them alone. Too many times you hear politicians bragging, sometimes even at funerals, to say it's because of them why X, Y, and Z get this position. If we are advertising the positions and we are doing the shortlisting and we are doing the interviews based on the civil service orders, let the regulations speak for themselves. Why do you have to interfere? And I suspect that may be happening again because we are in an election year.
Another concern highlighted by the union president is the ongoing issue surrounding the end-of-year allowance for teachers, which he said is clearly outlined in Article 29.6 of the collective agreement.
Each year, teachers should get an end-day allowance. The nurses and the policemen, they get their allowances each month, whether it's clothing or shoes or laundry or whatever it is. And we are happy for that. In 2003, when we signed our collective agreement in 2003, we asked the government to consider giving teachers an end-of-year allowance to enhance their salary. Because whenever the teachers union negotiate for salary, the rest of the public service would get it. We don't have a problem with that. But what was happening, teachers were still at the bottom of the ladder. So we wanted to strike a balance, and we negotiated for an end-of-year allowance. So once you enter the teaching profession within that year, whether the 1st of the year or September, you're entitled to your end-of-year allowance. A teacher 1 to teacher 4 should get $590. Teacher 5, $710. And principals, $800.
Robinson asserted that since 2010, many teachers, including principals, have not received their full end-of-year allowance. This, he said, is unacceptable, noting that the union continues to advocate for what is rightly owed to educators.
So those of you who are still in the system, from 2010, you have been short paid $90. And when we approached the government, we had a meeting at cabinet, and we asked the question, why is it that you're giving everybody the same amount of money? They said that that year they were running late with getting their accounts properly done. So they give everybody the same thing. But this is 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, and all the years leading back to 2010. They have not gotten the accounts right. They still pay people the same amount of money. So we calling on the Accountant General, the Minister of Finance, and all those who have the responsibility to set the records right to ensure that this year, when it comes to the end of the year, December, that you give back the people all the money, retroactive plus the correct amount of money.
The SVG-TU is calling on the relevant authorities to urgently address these long-standing matters, especially as the new school year begins. As the new school term approaches, pediatrician Dr. Sharianne Davis has issued important back-to-school health reminders for parents and students. Speaking this morning on NBC Radio's face-to-face program, Dr. Davis stressed the importance of prioritizing children's overall health as families prepare for the return to the classroom. Dr. Davis encouraged parents to pay close attention to their children's mental and emotional well-being, especially as they transition into new school environments. She emphasized that proper sleep is one of the most critical factors in helping children to adjust successfully.
We know that on the holiday, I'm not sure if there's any routine or structure, but we're hoping that, especially now that school is back in session, that we're now establishing bedtime rituals, bedtime routines, fixed bedtimes, because we understand that sleep is important. We definitely we talk about the 8 hours of sleep, and we really want them to have a good, restful sleep. And there's certain things that we need to be doing prior to putting them to bed to ensure that they get proper sleep. So all those tablets, TV shows that they've been watching over the holidays, we definitely need to ensure that they have some downtime even before sleep so that they can relax before. Ensure that we're not giving them sweetened juice, sugary juices, or caffeinated beverages, so some sodas, because sometimes that affects the quality of their sleep. And especially for the younger ones, when it's a little hard to ensure that they fall asleep, there are certain bedtime rituals that you can do to ensure that they fall asleep. So have probably giving them a shower, a bath, I would say a bath before, reading them a story, ensuring that there's some downtime, turning off the lights instead of having lots of activities around them. Because we do know that sleep is important to boost their learning and their mood. It ensures that they consolidate and retain what they've learned. So what they've been exposed to in school, you want to ensure that during those sleep hours that they're actually able to consolidate. And it ensures that they're quite relaxed and rejuvenated, because sometimes we do know that if they lack sleep, the next day they tend to be very troublesome.
She also underscored the role of regular and proper nutrition in supporting learning and academic performance. Her advice serves as a timely reminder that academic readiness must go hand in hand with overall wellness by focusing on physical health, emotional balance, and good nutrition. Families can help set the stage for healthier and more productive school years for students across the country. Leader of the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, says the party's grassroots approach, meeting people within their own communities, is proving effective and is giving NDP candidates a competitive edge ahead of the upcoming general elections. Speaking at a village meeting in Barley on Thursday evening, Dr. Friday emphasized that a government led by the NDP would be a people-centered, committed to listening to residents and implementing the changes they want to see in their communities.
The biggest difference between us and the ULP, the big difference, the sea change difference, is that I and my colleagues, we are concerned about you, the ordinary people. Whatever we can do to put money in your pocket, that is what we will do. Whatever we can do to make you safe, that is what we will do. We don't start with a project and say, let's see how it benefits people. We start with the people and we say, let's see how this project will benefit them. That is people-centered government. We will deliver that for you. It's time that the people of this country has a government that puts them first. That is what the New Democratic Party will do. And I ask for your support for Conroy and for my colleagues. I have said to my colleagues, we cannot know how to represent people unless we go and ask them. Have the humility, the decency to go and ask them, what would you like me to do for you? Don't assume that you know it. You might be smart and you have degrees, you know. I tell people I have more degrees than a compass. But that don't mean that I know what the people in every community want me to do for them.
Dr. Friday also criticized the current administration, noting that complaints from the public are numerous. He expressed confidence that the electorate is ready for change and will exercise their democratic rights to bring about that change at the ballot box.
Administration cannot deliver. You cannot tell me that somebody who's been in government for 25 years have the gall to come to the people now and say, listen, that was not enough time to fix your road. That was not enough time to bring unemployment rate down. That was not enough time to put in place a system where our young people can get training so that they can be employable in this economy. That was not enough time to deal with the crime situation in the country. Come on. We're smarter than that. They've had enough time. We have an administration here now that cannot get the job done. So we must change that. And the New Democratic Party will do so following the next general election with your help and with God's grace. We cannot continue the way that we are going. The only way the change is going to come is when we all work together. First of all, to bring the change following the general election.
The NDP has been holding meetings in towns and villages across St. Vincent and the Grenadines as part of its campaign strategy in the lead-up to the general elections, which are widely expected to take place in November. These engagements are aimed at building support and refining the party's policy platform based on direct feedback from citizens. Dr. Friday, who has led the party since 2016, is positioning the NDP as the viable alternative to the ruling Unity Labour Party, the ULP, which has been in power for over 2 decades. Cannabis farmers on the leeward side of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are set to benefit from additional support as the Ministry of Agriculture moves to further diversify agricultural production in the region. This was revealed by Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar during the launch of Cannabis 2025 on Tuesday. Minister Caesar stated that a tractor will be provided specifically for cannabis farmers on the leeward side as part of the ongoing efforts to strengthen their capacity and improve production. These farmers are not just cultivating cannabis, they are actively contributing to the food security and nutrition through the cultivation of other crops as well, said Caesar, highlighting the broader role cannabis farmers play in the agricultural landscape.
You know, some man who never go up in the hills, they have the view that is only weed man planting in the hills, you know. They don't know that some of the best cabbage, some of the best edibles, some of the best tomatoes, that they coming right out of the hills. And I really want to thank the farmers, because as we have this approach to have food sovereignty and food and nutrition security, that you are contributing. And it is in that light that I wish to announce that the cannabis farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as assistance, as a part of the diversification strategy, those farmers on the leeward side will receive a tractor before the end of this year, so that you can come and till the soil, and we can increase production in the leeward corridor of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I stress that because the 2 main tractors that we have on the island are already on the windward side.
He further noted that in 2024, lands in La Soufrière and Top Hill were allocated to leeward cannabis farmers to support expanded cultivation as part of continued efforts to boost productivity. Minister Sees announced that seeds recently acquired from Brazil will soon be distributed to these farmers.
6 million seeds from Brazil, watermelon, cantaloupe, pumpkin, the different types of seeds. We are going to make a sizable contribution to the cannabis farmers so that they can continue to diversify their production. As we speak, we have fertilizer that we received from several friendly countries. We also will be supporting you, and in approximately 2 weeks, we'll have a national distribution of fertilizer to the traditional cultivators and persons who are into the production of cannabis and also food. And on the weekend, I had a discussion with an investor who wants to contribute some seeds, 150,000 seeds to the farmers, so that they can experiment and they can work with that particular investor and other investors to expand the local.
Still on local scene, the vibrant culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines was on full display last night during Carifesta's highly anticipated country night as Vincentian performers took to the stage to showcase the nation's rich talent and heritage. Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, the CDC, and the manager of the Vincentian delegation, Ricardo Adams, shared his excitement in an interview, noting that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a wealth of talent and culture to offer. Adams highlighted that the presentation was a unique fusion of tradition and innovation, reflecting the depth and diversity of the country's artistic expression.
A long time putting together a country production of which we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can be proud, and I'm really looking forward to us putting that out there and to seeing what the reaction is from the audience that's here, that's growing already. And we know a lot of people are coming in, a lot of Vincentians, but also a lot of people from other countries coming in to share in what is the Vincentian story that's going to come out at this Carifesta. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a lot to offer in terms of our history, and we have an hour in which to do it. So we've got a whole range of the cultural presentations. We've got spoken word. We're going to be focusing on the drum, because the drum is a very important part of our history. We've got representatives from Union Island with some of the traditional Union Island cultural performances. We've got some very young artists. We've got some artists that are preteen. We've got artists who've been performing in the youth village. We've got some seasoned veterans, some of the people who've been in the cultural sphere for a lot longer than I have been in the cultural sphere, and I've been around for a little while. So we've got that wonderful blend. I mean, we've got steel pan, we've got drums, we've got a live band, we've got soca artists, we've got calypso, we've got gospel, we've got spoken word, we've got dramatic presentation, we've got something called the griot, which for a lot of people is kind of new, but he's the African storyteller, the person who walks around and basically gets all the stories from everything that is happening in the village and then preserves that through oral history. So we've got a lot of symbolism in there, there's a lot of depth in it, and we're really hoping that at the end of it, in that little space that we have, that little 1 hour time slot, that we can capture a lot of what is our Vincentian culture.
Also commenting on the success of the event, CEO of the CDC, Rodney Small, described the evening as an emotional and powerful celebration of national identity.
I feel amazing, and I mean a bit emotional because of the storyline. I think I've been saying that over and over, but it's always a pleasure and a great thing to represent St. Vincent and the Grenadines and let the world see what we are known for. I mean, we might be small, but as Jamaicans would say, we're little but we talawa. But it's really a production, not just for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but for us as Caribbean nations. Because there are a lot of things that in this production that we share as Caribbean people. So it's really not only about St. Vincent, but for all of us as Caribbean people. And I'm excited to see the reaction and how people are going to accept it. And all those persons at home who are waiting, anxiously. Yep. Thank you for supporting. And I know that it's something that you would enjoy. And I know that there's some nostalgic things inside it that you can get up and dance or get up and sing. But most importantly, make sure you have the kids sitting next to you so they can learn something. But all in all, the team is in good spirit. Everybody's just ready to go. And it's an amazing team, and love. Yeah.
From music and dance, the drama and traditional storytelling, the showcase highlighted the rich cultural heritage and artistic innovation of the island. Patrons were treated to a colorful and captivating evening filled with rhythm, movement, and deep expressions of national pride. Performers delivered with passion and precision, leaving a lasting impression on the audience and further reinforcing St. Vincent and the Grenadines' cultural impact within the regional festival. The night not only celebrated Vincentian artistry, but also embodied the unity and pride of Carifesta that Carifesta represents.
It makes yet another trod again, yet another kalunga. Listen, for you too may have your own heartbeat.
The recently concluded Police Youth Club camp has been described as a success despite falling short of its expected attendance numbers. Speaking on WFM's Cop Chat program, Sergeant of Police Stephen Billy said that while participation was lower than anticipated, the camp held in Georgetown still met its core objectives. Sergeant Billy noted that the location may have contributed to the reduced turnout, pointing out that unlike the larger, more centralized camps held in places like St. Lucia, this year's event in St. Vincent was intentionally more modest in scale.
Summer program Police Youth Club Camp, Summer Camp 2025 was held in Georgetown from the 20th of July to the 4th of August. This year we were anticipating our colleagues from St. Lucia would have been present with us, but that did not come true for circumstances beyond our control and theirs. However, we had our camp, as I mentioned, from the 20th. That was the day persons gathered, and then officially had an opening ceremony on the 21st, which was Monday. In attendance, camp this year was smaller than usual. Well, besides the absence of the St. Lucians, the area, majority of our campers usually come from the countryside, and when they hear we were camping in Georgetown, they wasn't so enthused. And so we had 75 campers compared to the usual 100 and plus persons we would entertain, and we have 41 males and 34 females attending this camp. So that is basically in a nutshell what happened, or how it started. As I said, Monday, the Sundays when they gathered, and we would have separated them, placed them in units. This year we had 3 units, and we would have separated the male from the female, and we give them the orientation and the instructions and the rules of camp, and give them a time to settle.
Sergeant Billy emphasized that a smaller size did not diminish the camp's effectiveness. The program maintained a solid structure and featured a variety of activities aimed at fostering personal growth, discipline, and leadership among youth participants.
The Police Youth Club program is one which is structured. From the time you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, we have devotion, then we have the physical exercise, then you are to clean up your area, and then you have your meals, and then we go straight into the different activities. On any given day, it could be something different. It could either be we have your sports, because we usually have a sports competition among the units. As I mentioned, we would divide our campers into different units, and they will compete for the tide years and things like that. So it's a competition at the same time that is geared, things like that. As the young one mentioned in the program, is not just for where you come for camp and you sit down and you waste time and you just run up and down.